to Interview Thursday. We have a very wonderful guest with us today, all the way from Ukraine. Her name is Julia, and please, if you can help me out with your last name here so I don't butcher it.
Yeah, Kuzubova.
Kuzubova. All right.
Yeah, Kuzubova.
It's really hard to
Yeah.
get all
Hi,
these names down.
everyone.
Um, she and her husband have given us the honor of interviewing them today. So we're, goodness gracious, I'm already screwing this up. So anyway, she'll go ahead and talk to us about a game of hers from competition that has to do with our segment, the psychology of competition. So before that, let's go ahead and get to know her a little bit more. So Julia, go ahead and talk to us about who you are and what it is that got you into chess.
Yeah, hi, my name is Yuliya or Julia. I'm from Ukraine. I'm a candidate master, so I'm a chess coach. I have been teaching chess more than 10 years. I live in Odessa with my husband. I love traveling. I love chess. So, and you can ask me more questions.
Yes, absolutely. When did you start chess? What age?
I think that I was at the age of 4.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't remember exactly. I think that probably my father or maybe my grandfather taught me how to play chess. But I remember that I used to learn chess with my uncle. So
Mm-hmm.
probably he spent several months teaching chess with me. So, and it was a very nice experience.
Awesome. And when did you enter your first chess tournament?
I think probably maybe at the age of 6.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Pretty much the entire
So I
life.
remember that, yeah, I used to go to to a local chess club
Mm-hmm.
in my district, in my region. So then my parents decided to move me like to the main chess club in Odessa because I could get more experience there. So yeah, probably my first tournament was at the age of 6.
Okay. And how did you do back then? Still in the learning process?
Sorry?
Were you still in the learning process back then? Or were you already a champion from the first tournament?
No, of course I wasn't. So I remember that my first tournaments among girls,
Mm-hmm.
I probably didn't show a very good result, but then I did my best. I got more experience, so I learned a lot. And finally, maybe at the age of 9 or 10, I became a champion of Odessa region among girls. So
Wow,
probably
excellent.
until 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, 16, so and
Mm-hmm.
etc. etc.
Have you ever traveled outside of Ukraine to go to tournaments?
Yeah, I think that my first experience was in Russia, in
Mm-hmm.
Moscow. I think I was 13. It was a tournament among like 20 or 25 cities. So yeah, it was very nice. As I remember, I didn't get probably any medals there, or maybe I got. Actually, I don't remember to be honest. But it was a very nice experience. Yeah, I remember that Ekaterina Dolzhikova, she is an international master from Kiev. She also participated in that tournament. So we had fun together. So it was very nice
Mm-hmm.
memory for me.
Awesome. And
So.
I'm not too knowledgeable about the FIDE I guess rules just yet, but how did you get the candidate master title?
I took a part at the Championship of Ukraine among girls until 20 or 18 years, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I got maybe the 5th or the 6th place. So I got some points, and this is how I got the candidate master title.
Mm-hmm.
So usually, I mean, it depends on the tournament. So each tournament has each own like points that you need to reach if you want to reach a title. So that's why that tournament I got that point that was enough for me to become a candidate master.
Right, gotcha. And aside from chess, have you done anything else, or what did you have as a career before I guess chess took off? I was
So
terribly worded. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
actually, yeah, I graduated from the university, and I wanted to be a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and I have even have this experience during 1 year probably
Mm-hmm.
at the executive office. But there I understood that probably it's not that thing that I want to do in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and chess always was a part of my life. I met a lot of nice and wonderful people. I met my husband because of chess.
Yep.
Yeah. So, at the age of 20, when I was a student, I decided to earn my own money. Yeah, so usually I had some summer jobs, but that time I decided to have a job during the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And I became a chess coach. I became like learning children chess. So, and I like it. So it's because this job is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you are with in chess, you can give your knowledge and your experience to someone else. And it's very nice that you can like create your own schedule, so your schedule could be flexible and
Mm-hmm.
comfortable for you.
And it's amazing to watch the students grow, especially like you
Yeah,
see that they're
of
working
course.
hard. It's like they're becoming successful. Even even on the tough days, you help them out as much as you can. It's a great feeling, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I remember. So it like this, it happens sometimes to me. So when I, for example, in the chess club, or I just meet some parents of my students in the street and they say, oh, maybe you don't remember us, but we want to thank you because our son or our daughter likes chess because of you. So you were the first coach of her or him. So thank you a lot. Yeah, so very nice moments.
And the dynamic of being married to another master, grandmaster specifically, how is that at home? Do you guys play against each other a lot? Do you analyze or prepare before tournaments?
It's
Curious.
funny story,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I asked my husband, I asked Yuri to play chess against me many, many times, and maybe just 6 months ago he said, okay, I'm gonna play with you once, and yeah, of course. So it was a game that I lost. So yeah, I wasn't happy because of this. So probably he's smarter than me, so he knew that it's not a good plan to play against your wife, especially if you win. Yeah, so I don't think that we don't work together because I think we have like too big difference in our levels.
Mm-hmm.
So but of course I try to help him to make the right decision, like to participate in the tournament, or
Mm-hmm.
like, for example, to write a letter to the organizers, and etc etc. So of course, like, every day we talk about chess a lot.
Awesome.
And
And
I
uh-huh.
sometimes I ask him to help me with my class, to, okay, what can you recommend me to show to my students? So what games can you recommend if I need, for example, to talk about outpost or isolated pawns? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's awesome. Honestly, that's a really cool dynamic. And as a competitive player, I can completely understand that. Got to be careful who you're playing with. All right, so let's go ahead and hop right in today. So, what is it you're going to be showing us and the viewers?
Yeah, I would like to show one interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
I played it probably 6 or 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I played black against Voronov Yuri. So he was much, and probably he is much experienced and more rated chess player than I.
Mm-hmm.
But I was lucky that day and I won this game. So of course,
All right.
I also made some mistakes. Yeah, but the game is interesting, and I like this type of the positions, sharp positions where you can attack, and especially I like positions with opposite castles,
Mm-hmm.
the side castles. Yeah, so let's go.
All right. May I ask a couple questions first about setting the
Yeah, of
stage?
course.
Sorry.
Mhm.
So what is the tournament that this is at, and how did you
Yeah,
prepare?
I think it was a tournament in Yuzhny.
Mm-hmm.
It's a town not far away from Odessa. So
Okay.
several years ago, it was kind of popular open. So I prepared. I think that I just used my computer. I used ChessBase to prepare for the game,
Mm-hmm.
to get to know which opening my opponent can play. So yeah, I think it was a part of my preparation because, as I remember, probably the tournament, it was two games per day. And I remember that I used to work as a coach that time, and probably 2 or 3 times, in the middle of the games, I came back to Odessa to give a class, and then came back to Yuzhny. So yeah, it was like this. So probably, yeah, my preparation was just like to use a computer and to get to know what opening my opponent can play.
Awesome. And did you feel that it helped you a lot during this game?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
So I don't like surprises, so it's much better when when you know what can happen on the chessboard, and especially if your opponent place an opening that you don't have deep knowledge in. So you always can refresh your knowledge. You can repeat some variations. So using a computer is always a good idea. So everyone should use it.
Awesome.
To prepare for the games.
All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Scotch. Yeah. So I played one of my favorite variations for black with Bishop C5. I just like it. So very nice variation. White should be very careful with taking the knight. Yeah, because you may think that you can take it, but it's not the best idea because black has an intermediate move and black just takes the bishop. So. You see, you want to mate, white takes, and white has not a good pawn structure.
Right.
And by the way, let's take some moves back. The same happens if white takes the knight immediately. Probably the best move for black here is to answer queen f6.
I'll do it anyway.
So you can, if white tries to protect the pawn, I don't know, just doing something like queen d2 or queen e2. Yeah, of course, like these moves are not good because you block the bishop. You can capture the knight without double your pawns. If white plays queen f3, okay, small advantage you have that white has double pawns, so good for you. Okay, so let's go back to the game.
Yeah, normally I have questions, but you're pretty much answering them all. Awesome.
Okay, thank you. So, the best move is just to protect the knight and play c3. Yeah, so d6. Yeah, of course, we should be careful because black should be careful with knight takes c6 for white because no one wants to get bad pawn structure.
Right.
So, but right now, everything is under control. Yeah, so queen d2, when you see that f2 square, f2 pawn is protected, yeah, so maybe white has a plan to take, yeah, so be careful. That's why bishop d7. Yeah, I want to protect the knight.
Are you still somewhat in preparation here against your opponent?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Sorry, are you still somewhat in preparation against your opponent?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I know it's been a while ago.
Remember, yeah, but yeah. So, you know, in my age, 31, memory doesn't work as well. So
chess helps.
Yeah.
We can remember things forever.
Yeah. So f3. Yeah, just typical move for this variation. Yeah, and of course, you know that if your queen stays on f6, it means that your knight can't get there. So that's why knight goes to e7. Yeah, bishop c4. Yeah, probably, I think maybe instead of bishop c4 in this position, white could maybe even play knight e3. It looks like a nice idea. Yeah. So because if white plays knight e3 and black gonna capture, white will get an advantage of two bishops. Yeah, probably not so good for black. Yeah, and then knight probably goes to c2 or even to c4. So it depends.
So you're getting and giving. Yeah.
Yeah, so bishop c4 looks like a good move. Yeah, you develop a bishop, but black has knight e5 with tempo. Yeah, so and this is what happened in the game. So I improved position for my knight. I put it in the center, and white has to move the bishop. Bishop b3. Yeah. So in this position, of course, I understood that queen on f6 probably like not the best piece for me. So of course, in chess, it's very important to think about prophylactic, and try to destroy plans of your opponent. So I just played h6. Yeah, we know that in the opening, it's not the best plan to move your pawns a lot. Yeah, but sometimes you can move your pawns, and it can help you to get to have a good position.
Right.
So h6, yeah, it was against bishop g5. So I didn't want to get any surprises. Yeah, and of course, I was thinking that probably white is going to castle to the king side, and I had a plan to castle to the queen side. So also h6 is going to help me with moving my pawn to g5 in this position.
Right.
Yeah.
So dual purpose.
Castle. Yeah, so white just played king h1. Yeah, typical move, especially when you have a bishop of your opponent on the same diagonal with a king. Yeah? So just king h1. Yeah, g5, hooray. So my favorite types of the positions, yeah, when you can attack. So good for me. Yeah, a4. Yeah. So, as I have some experience in coaching chess, yeah. So probably the most popular answer that I get from my student and from my new student is, we don't know what to do when the opening is finished. Yeah. So probably the middle game is the most difficult part of the game.
Right.
Of course, if you didn't get checkmate in the opening. So yeah, that's why I just want to say several words about this. So probably the most important thing that can help you to improve your position in the middle game and to find the right plan is to find a good position for your pieces. Yeah, to improve position of your pieces. So of course, I realized that white is going to start an attack at the queen side. Yeah, and I have a plan to start an attack at the king side.
Right.
So that's why I ask myself, so position of which pieces I can improve. So probably the knight on a7, yeah, doesn't look so good. So of course, I want to improve with position, and that's why I moved the knight to g6. Yeah, so probably later I have a choice to play knight f4. Yeah, I don't think that knight h4 would be good. Yeah, knight f4 looks better. So yeah, this is what helps you to improve your position in the middle game. It could be a part of your plan.
Right. And actually, this is an excellent point that you brought up, because some of my students have issues with this too, where they get out of the opening, don't have the right plan, and instead of I'm be making moves on the board too. Instead of playing the knight to g6, they might see a4 and react improperly and play something like a5, trying to slow it down.
No. I think it would be a huge mistake.
Right.
Yeah, because when you have your pawns like at the 7th rank, it's more difficult for your opponent to get some open files, to open position. So just it's better if you have a choice. Yeah, just don't move the pawns like a6 or b6 or c6. Yeah, without any reason.
Right.
So for example, you see that white has a pawn on f3. So probably for me, it's easier to open position. So I have a plan g4. Yeah, I don't have to move my pawn to the 3rd rank. So just a 4th rank would be enough for me. Yeah, so a5, no, because of course white is gonna move the bishop somewhere like to a2. I mean to this bishop right now is blocking b2 pawn. So of course white has a plan to push the pawn to b4, right? So that's why no, we don't play a5. So it would be a big mistake, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
So yeah, knight g6. Yeah. So probably white knew, yeah, that we want to play a5, so white decided to prevent this and played a5. Yeah. So of course, in this position, I don't want white to play a6, yeah? Because if white plays a6, if I capture, so probably I will be checkmated very soon. If I play b6, I get weak light squares, yeah? Not good for me. So of course, in this position, where I probably don't have a choice, I have to play a6, yeah?
Right.
So that's why I played a6, and I don't think that this move is bad in this position, because I prevent a6 from white.
Correct. And bouncing off what you said earlier, that also means white requires 2 moves to even make contact, as opposed to 1. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, white played bishop a2. Of course, you see that white has a plan to play b4. Yeah. So in this position, I played g4. Probably g4 maybe was a little bit too early, yeah, because then white has a plan to play f4, has this opportunity. So at this point, I think that maybe it would be better for me to block f3 pawn first and to play knight f4. And after this, yeah, so maybe later I could play g4. Of course, I shouldn't blunder my knight, yeah. So, but maybe knight f4 would be interesting, and maybe I could play h5, h4 at this point.
Right.
So yeah, probably knight f4 would be a little bit better for me.
But even though g4 may not be the best, did you still feel pretty comfortable here and confident?
Yeah, of course.
Sweet. It's the psychology of competition. Got to ask these questions.
Yeah, so I mean, like, probably now when I have a look at the game, I understand that g4 probably wasn't the best move, but I'm sure that time I just felt very happy.
Awesome.
So I could just like push my pawns, make problems for white king. So yeah. So yeah, f4 was played, and yeah, I think that after f4, white was thinking that I have to move my knight. Yeah. from e5, but I had another plan. So I was ready to sacrifice it, and I played g3. So probably
Oh boy.
this like kind of intermediate move my opponent didn't think about. Yeah, because let's think what happens if white captures the knight. Yeah. So what happens? The pawn is pinned. Yeah.
Whoops.
So we just get the rook. Yeah. So probably g3 was a little bit unexpected for white. Yeah. So g3. So you see my pawn got earlier to the second rank, yeah, than white pawns. So I am several steps up, I guess.
And if you need to.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, now I have a perfect spot for my knight, so I can move it to g4. Yeah. So white played h3 in this position. Yeah, so and in this position, so I missed a very nice combination. So it looks like I made not the best move. I played queen h4. And I think that if white would play f5, yeah, I can say goodbye to my light square bishop. It doesn't help me at the king side anymore. Yeah, so, and I didn't think just about this move for white, I guess. Or maybe I thought, but I didn't think that it would be so good for white.
Gotcha.
So yeah, probably instead of queen h4, I should play bishop captures h3.
Wow.
Yeah, I should sacrifice the bishop, yeah, and probably play knight h4. So I have a plan to push my pawn to g2 in this position. Yeah, I think that maybe white is going to play king g1. I could move my rook to g8, I guess. So, and it looks like I have...
This can get nasty quick.
Yeah. Yes, sorry, probably not rook to g8, because now I see that my knight is an attack. Because f1 rook is, protected. I think that if we take, I don't think that white has to capture. I think that probably white gonna take the knight first. Yeah, so that's why probably this plan doesn't work anymore.
Gotcha. There you go, guys. Tactics.
Yeah, so probably I could play g2. Yeah, this is not what happened in the game. Yeah, but yeah, I could play g2, and again, you see that white doesn't have time for taking the knight because of the rook. So yeah, rook f2, and by the way, maybe in this position I could do this, because what happens if the pawn takes? I think that now we have knight f3, and it looks very, very good. Yeah. Okay, but who calculate all this during the game, of course? Yeah, so that's why I played queen h4. Yeah, and of course, white should play f5. So what is the reason? Yeah, you moved your pawn, and probably now we see that h3 could be a problem for white, and that's why f5 looks very good, because you just block the light square bishop.
Right.
Yeah, but I told you I was lucky that day, so my opponent didn't do this. Yeah, so he played knight f5. Yeah, of course, knight f5 doesn't help white at all. So, yeah, just takes. Bishop takes e3. Queen takes e3. Yeah, and now I see that my knight gets to g4. Yeah, so very good spot for the knight. Very good place. So the pawn is pinned. So
this is really nice attacking play.
The queen. Yeah, so, but I would say that, yeah, I will get a very good knight on f2, so good for me. So queen f3, knight goes to f2. Yeah, maybe it would be a little bit better for white just to take the knight with the rook. So, but again, I'm not sure that position would be good. So king g1 was played. So yeah, I just, if I see a free pawn, I just take it, so why not? So knight takes f4. Yeah, knight d2. Yeah, so in this position, I decided to, if you see an open file, you just control an open file. Yeah, everything is simple. So I just decided that maybe I want to get maybe to the second rank. Yeah, so it could be a good idea for me to have a rook on e8.
That actually brings up an interesting question here, especially while in competition mode. Obviously, you have very aggressive pieces around the opponent's king. And all you did was play a very simple fundamental development move. How easy or difficult is that for some players to do when it looks like they have something more testing, like a sacrifice? How do you go about making that decision?
Okay, I think that probably in this position, of course, I was thinking about like sacrificing the knight, and taking the pawn on h3, and probably it should work. So I think that if I would do this, I could maybe take even with a queen,
Right.
because I want to get to h2. So what white can do? How can white avoid checkmate? Probably playing rook f2. And it looks like the pawn is pinned, but we capture the rook with check, so white doesn't have time yet to trade queens. So maybe I just made a mistake in my calculations at the time, because now when I have a look at this position, I think that I could play just knight h3.
Okay.
So, and probably I just wanted like to improve position for my rook. Maybe in some variations I wanted to get to e2, like to the second rank, and with check. So if I take the pawn on h3 or sacrifice the knight on g2, so
So sometimes it's better to play the calm move that maintains the advantage as opposed to...
sometimes again, not in this exactly position, because as I just said, so knight takes h3 would work here. So probably I need the best move, so I could just sacrifice the knight. So but maybe I just felt very comfortable and confident with this position, so I was like ready to spend one move on like to improve position of my pieces.
Right.
So for some reason I moved the rook here, and I don't think that I missed something. So I think that I still have this possibility to sacrifice my knight on h3.
Right.
So rook goes to e1. Probably good for me that the rook is not here anymore. And now I decided to sacrifice my knight. So I took the pawn with a knight from f4. And in this position, I think that maybe, taking with a knight is better than taking with a queen. So I took with a knight. King goes to f1. And some crazy moves, So like knight g5. Probably I want to take the queen and get to h3 or to h1. But of course, when the queen gets to g2, h1 and h3 are protected. So I played queen f4. Now, so I just decided to get some extra material. So what happens if, so what happens if the queen captures? I probably just get to f2. Get the rook. So
that's such a nice check.
White played king h1. So in this position, I decided just to move the knight back. Why not? Probably I had a lot of time. And again, everything is simple. You see a free piece, you take it. So I played queen takes d2. So white decided to trade rooks. So it looks like I don't have a lot of extra material. But position of the white king is terrible. So that's why I have an advantage. So in the game, white just took the pawn on f7 with the bishop. But let's think what could happen if white, for example, plays queen captures g3. It looks logic. So probably at this point, I think I could play maybe knight to d1. So it looks interesting. And I still think that position is not so good, because it looks like my rook gets to e1. So
and these two guys are doing nothing for the defense.
So my opponent decided to find a better place for the bishop. But I get to the first rank. So in this position, I just decided to trade pieces and get to a winning end game. Because it looks like white has nothing to do. I have how much? Let me count. 2 extra pawns. Very difficult task to count in the morning. So and after king d7, my opponent just resigned.
That was a really awesome attacking game. Holy moly. And
I like these games.
I was also impressed that white pretty much didn't have anything against you. You weren't attacked at all.
But I think that white could make some better moves. So so I told you that I played queen h4. It was a mistake. So because white could play f5, and actually after f5, in this position, I don't think that I have like so many good moves here. So without the light square bishop, I think it's difficult for me to like improve my attack. And of course, white has a like simple plan before b5. So probably. And again, maybe so white just shouldn't play f4 in this position. Probably, maybe white should just ignore g4, because what happens after g4? Even if I take the pawn on f3, okay, it's not a big problem. So I think that white should play b4. Yeah. So that's why.
So
both of us made some mistakes in this game. But I made less mistakes, so good for me.
So I know that you love to attack, obviously. What about when you're being attacked? Do you like being attacked?
To be honest, I don't like being attacked. I feel uncomfortable, but one good thing that I can say about the situations when someone starts to attack me, usually I try to consolidate, and I try to do my best. So I have some games when even in terrible positions I could make a draw or even win. So I just want to say that even if you understand that your position is very terrible, just don't give up, because everyone makes mistakes. Even grandmasters sometimes lose winning positions. So
right,
yeah, but of course I feel uncomfortable. I like playing good positions instead of bad positions.
Unfortunately, we can't have everything.
Yeah.
But I really love all the points that you brought up in this game, because it's something I've noticed a lot lately. For those that are still learning chess, or going from trying to get to that advanced level from intermediates, which is they play the impulsive move first. Let's see, example was okay. So right here, an impulsive move to move the knight away, as opposed to understanding that there's nothing to worry about. And you did that a lot this game. Another moment here. So, I mean, there's a lot of suspicion zugs everywhere in this entire game. But no, I really like that. This is very different from the other interviews I've done so far. Thank you for showing me this game.
Thank you for watching this game with me.
Do you have any more games for us, or is this the only one?
I think this is only one. So.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, great. This is awesome. So guys, go ahead and check out Julia from, what's her lead chess? Do you mind if we tell her lead chess or no?
Yeah, I have lead chess. I think that it would be nice if I'm gonna show you one interesting puzzle.
Oh, awesome! Let's do it.
It's one of my favorite puzzles that I like. When I have new students, I usually show this puzzle to them. So of course we see that white has an absolutely winning position here. White has two rooks, and you have 1 million ways to win this position.
Correct.
But so one of the good things that you should know about chess, that chess teaches you to value your time. Yeah. So, and usually it's the best way to find the shortest and the fastest decision. So in this position, we play white, and we have to checkmate the black king in 2 moves. Yeah. So let's think what we can do for this. So of course we have to save both of the rooks on the chessboard. Yeah. So probably we can try to protect this rook on f4. Yeah. So let's play, I don't know, rook h4. Yeah. So you see that the king moves to g2, and position is still winning, but there is no mate in 1. So what else can we try? So we can play rook f1. Yeah, but probably the same happens. So no mate in 1, but position is still winning. Yeah, so we can try to move the rook from f4, for example, to f1. Yeah. So okay, I don't know, king g2, and there is no mate in 1 in this position. So let's think what else can we do. So I think that you already know the right answer, right?
Yep. It reminds me of one of the Susan Polgar, one of her puzzles as well. So for those who are watching on YouTube, feel free to pause the video, see if you can figure this out. I think Julia here can also give a little hint.
Yeah, when I put this puzzle on the chessboard, yeah. Yeah, so it looks like the end game, and probably there are some things in the end game that we didn't think about. Yeah, so if we have a look at the white king, what can we do? Of course, if we just move the king somewhere, it doesn't help us to protect the rook on f4. Yeah, so that's why we have to do something unusual. And wait a minute, castle. So if we castle in this position, yeah, because no one told us that we can't castle actually, right? So you see that black king has just one square to move. It's h3, and then rook goes to f3. So mate, because the white king controls g2 and h2. So good for us.
Yes.
Yeah. So very interesting puzzle. Yeah. And like it helps you and us, all of us, to use like imagination and to think about things that we usually don't think in the end game. But if you play chess, you have to keep everything in your mind during the whole game, even like castle. So yeah, it's a typical mistake to forget about en passant, for example. Yeah, so yeah, nice puzzle and nice solution of the puzzle.
Yep. Yeah, it took me a second. I was like, and then you gave me that kind of intrinsic look. I was like, oh, I know what it is. I got it. There's a similar one. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I have time to put this up on the board real quick. Similar idea. So let's see, king here. And all right, is this orientation correct? It looks good. Create. Whoops, I did the rook on the wrong square.
Yeah, I think that's the
but you know what I'm doing.
Stay on b2.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to do. Whoops.
Yeah, because c2, unfortunately. Yeah.
How to win.
Yeah, so I think that the task is not to mate, but to get a winning position and probably to win the black rook. Yeah. So, and I think I know what we should do.
Go for it.
Yeah, so, I can't. I think that's, okay. I know.
Oh, well, we can't do it if I don't set it so that you can castle. So queenside castles, attacking the rook and a check on the king. There we go.
Yeah, good for us. So castle is always a good idea, right? So, and we get the rook.
I love these. These are great.
Cool, nice puzzle. Yeah.
What website or resources or books do you use to study tactics?
Usually, I think that there are a lot of tactics like on chess.com, on Chess, but usually I just prefer to send some puzzles from the books and from the internet that I find. So like for the home task for my students, I usually send puzzles like that I think it would be useful for them. So I usually create a plan and I know like strong sides and weak sides. So I would recommend just to find some online books or to buy some books. So I think that it's the best way. But of course, if it would be also very good for you to do puzzles from Chess, chess.com. So
awesome. And who is your favorite chess player that you like to try to emulate or have admired?
Okay. I would say Magnus Carlsen, but I'm afraid that my husband is watching this video right now. So I would say Yuri Kuzubov is my favorite player. Yeah.
Speaking of, we will go ahead and
Magnus Carlsen. No.
Speaking of, guys, we are going to have another special guest right after a short break. So I want to go ahead and thank Julia again here for having us or being with us today. Thank you so much for showing your game, showing your knowledge in chess.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. We love it. And also to Mike Muschos, who was able to get this to work out. And I think this is your husband in the chat saying, haha. That's great.
Yeah, so and by the way, the next guest is my favorite chess player, and it's not Magnus Carlsen.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and end the stream for a minute, guys. We will be back online once we set up with, I can't pronounce his name yet. Yuri Kuzubov.
Oh, just say Magnus Carlsen. It's also good. So
perfect. Okay, so guys, we're going to have Carl